Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivakacharya Sarasri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivakacharya Sarasri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Sri Thakur Bhakti Vinod Ki Jai Srila Gokishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Sri Guru Parampara Ki Jai Sri Lalita Devi Ki Jai Sri Lalita Devi Ki Jai Sri Lalita Devi Ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Go Premananda Hari Haribo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timirandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swakpakambikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Prajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhana Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Paritanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, translation and commentary, Srila Prabhupada. Today is 1321. Okay, investigations into the Supersoul. So please repeat. kārya-kāraṇa-kartṛtve kārya-kāraṇa-kartṛtve hetu prakriti ucyate puruṣaḥ sukha-duḥkhānāṁ bhoktṛtve hetu ucyate kārya-kāraṇa-kartṛtve hetu prakṛtir ucyate puruṣaḥ sukha-duḥkhānāṁ bhoktṛtve hetu ucyate. Okay.
kārya-kāraṇa-kartṛtve hetuḥ prakṛtir ucyate puruṣaḥ sukha-duḥkhānāṁ bhoktṛtve hetur ucyate. kārya-kāraṇa-kartṛtve hetuḥ prakṛtir ucyate puruṣaḥ sukha-duḥkhānāṁ bhoktṛtve hetur ucyate. kārya-kāraṇa-kartṛtve hetuḥ prakṛtir ucyate puruṣaḥ sukha-duḥkhānāṁ bhoktṛtve hetur ucyate. kārya-kāraṇa-kartṛtve hetuḥ prakṛtir ucyate puruṣaḥ sukha-duḥkhānāṁ bhoktṛtve hetur ucyate. kārya-kāraṇa-kartṛtve hetuḥ prakṛtir ucyate
Duḥkhānāṁ bhoktṛtve ucyate. kārya-kāraṇa-kartṛtve hetuḥ prakṛtir ucyate
puruṣaḥ duḥkhānāṁ
ucyate. Okay, word for word, please repeat. Kārya, of effect. Karana, and cause, kārya-kāraṇa-kartṛtve, in the matter of creation, hetuḥ, the instrument, prakṛtiḥ, material nature, ucyate, is said to be, puruṣaḥ, the living entity, sukha, of happiness, duḥkhānām, and distress, bhoktṛtve, in enjoyment, hetur, the instrument, ucyate, is said to be. So, Srila Prabhupada translation, nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Please repeat. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Okay. So, Purport Srila Prabhupada, the different manifestations of the body and senses among the living entities are due to material nature. There are 8,400,000 different species of life, and these varieties are creations of the material nature. They arise from the different sensual pleasures of the living entity, who thus desires to live in this body or that. When he is put into different body, he enjoys different kinds of happiness and distress. His material happiness and distress are due to his body and not to himself as he is. That means in his original nature there is no material happiness and distress. In his original state there is no doubt of enjoyment. Therefore that is his real state. Yes, you see that? No happiness or distress. That's his real state. Because of the desire to lord it over material nature, he is in the material world. In the spiritual world there is no such as trying to lord it over. The spiritual world is pure, but in the material world everyone is struggling hard to acquire different kinds of pleasures for the body. It might be more clear to state that this body is the effect of the senses. The senses are instruments for gratifying desire. We discussed that last week. The senses, the soul, the senses are actually in the soul, but they are filtered through the material body, and therefore they perceive the material world. Just like we look through a telescope to see something distant, so the soul is within the body, looking through the senses, looking through the tongue, looking through the ear, looking through the eyes. So that is the conditioned state. The body is the effect. The senses are instruments for gratifying desire. So he's looking for happiness and desire. Now the sum total, the body and instrument senses, are offered by material nature, as will be clear in the next verse. The living entity is blessed or damned with circumstances according to his past desire and activity. According to one's desires and activities, material nature places one in various residential quarters, meaning bodies. The being himself is the cause of attaining such residential quarters, and his attendant enjoyment or suffering, according to that residential quarter. Once placed in some particular kind of body, he comes under the control of nature, because the body, being matter, acts according to the laws of nature. In that time, the living entity has no power to change that law. Suppose an entity is put into the body of a dog. As soon as he is put into a body of a dog, he must act like a dog. He cannot act otherwise. And if the living entity is put into the body of a hog, then he is forced to eat stool and act like a hog. Similarly, if the living entity is put into the body of a demigod, he must act according to his body. This is the law of nature. But in all circumstances, the Supersoul is with the individual soul. That is explained in the Vedas, Muṇḍaka Upaniṣad 3.1.1. As follows: Dva suparṇā sukha-duḥkhānāṁ sakhāyaḥ. The Supreme Lord is so kind upon the living entity that he always accompanies the individual soul, and in all circumstances he is present as the Supersoul or the Paramātmā. Yeah, so this purport is wonderful. Let's just chant the verse again. Mukham karoci vācālam pangam laite girim yad kripa tamaham bande Sri Guru Nidutarinam kārya-kāraṇa-kartṛtve hetuḥ prakṛtir ucyate puruṣaḥ sukha-duḥkhānāṁ bhoktṛtve hetur ucyate. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Yes, nature is said to be the cause. What does that mean, nature? Well, if we go back to the beginning, remember we had 6 questions by Arjuna. What is puruṣaḥ? What is prakriti? Puruṣaḥ is Supreme Lord. Prakriti, 3 kinds of prakriti. There is the chit shakti, spiritual energy. Then there is the jiva shakti, and then there is the achit shakti. Achit means unconscious. We discussed that last week, that if you're in the spiritual world, you're in the chit shakti. Chit means consciousness. So you're in the chit conscious. You're in the conscious energy. So what does that mean? You're actually within the consciousness of Krishna. Just consider that for an idea. You're within Krishna's consciousness. Mama angsa jiva loke. We angsa of Krishna. That is our real home. To be within the consciousness of Krishna. Amazing, isn't it, when you contemplate? The spiritual world is the extension of the consciousness of Krishna. And that is our home. We belong within the consciousness of Krishna. But now we're in the achit, the unconscious material energy, because we're jiva shakti, and we chose the material energy instead of choosing the spiritual energy. We're tatastha shakti. We were faced with the choice, we chose this. Because, as Prabhupada says in the purport, because we wanted what? We didn't want to serve Purusha, Mahapurusha, Supreme Lord. We wanted to be our own Purusha. Right? Hare Krishna Prabhu. So, that is the choice. We chose to, maybe I'll serve Krishna later. Now I'll be a little Purusha in the material world. So sometimes people ask, why did we choose the material energy, not the spiritual energy? We're tatastha shakti, emanating from Mahavishnu. It's in the 15th chapter of Jaiva Dharma, the details. And it's explained that the living entity is like a fish. He can go to one bank of the river or the other. All the Bengali knows this. Chapter 15, Jaiva Dharma. Somewhere else there may be confusion. And the Brihat Aranya Upanishad is there. So the living entity emanates, actually, I'll tell you the whole story. Some living entities emanate from Krishna, because Krishna is the origin of everything. So some emanate from Krishna through Radharani, and they naturally become the servants in Golokadam. In Haridam, the place of Narayan and Lakshmi, Similarly, living entities emanate from Narayan through Lakshmi, because she is the Swarup Shakti, she's the Swarup, we're Jiva Shakti, we're not actually Purusha. And then they naturally develop into servants of Nara and Narayan, according to their constitutional nature. And then in the material world, Mahavishnu is within the causal ocean, and he emanates Tatastha Shakti Jivas, and the Pradhan, the causal ocean, also called the Viraja, is the borderline between matter and spirit. So the Tatastha, Tata means sta, line, sta, situated. So the living entity emanated from Krishna in the form of Mahavishnu, they are within the borderline. They're like in the river, and they can go to Krishna, or they can go to the Maya Shakti. They can go to the Chit Shakti if they want to serve, and then they may go to the Achit Shakti if they want to serve themselves. So sometimes people ask, well, why did we choose this or that? Well, actually, that goes back to the free will of the soul, but the soul being an amazing entity, every soul may have his own mixture which results in a particular choice. You understand? Every soul is an individual, so every soul's spiritual consciousness is his own. And that is, he's the Purusha. And Prakriti, in that sense, he is the Purusha of his own consciousness. He is Vibhinangsa, he's separated. What does that mean? That means his choice is separated from Krishna. He has free choice. But he has to act according to his constitutional nature. So, it's very interesting. In the liberated state, we talked about this many times, Baladev Vidyabhushan explains that the liberated jiva, when he goes back to Krishna Loka or Narayan Loka, wherever his constitutional form is, then he is empowered to such an extent that he is practically the same as Krishna. And this is necessary, Baladev Vidyabhushan explains, because he's relating directly to Krishna. Now we're like at least myself, we're like a little ant trying to relate to an elephant, right? Now, but in the spiritual world, Krishna's an elephant and you're an elephant. And you can relate, do you understand? On the same level. But Baladev Vidyabhushan explains that the living entity in that liberated state, he doesn't have one potency that Krishna reserves for himself. And that is the overall creative potency, meaning that this Chit Shakti, this Tatastha Shakti, this material creation, the Supersoul, Lord Brahma, the Devas, that is Krishna's creation. So that potency Krishna keeps to himself. Because if the living entity, just think, if you had that potency, you might start designing another creation. And that would make a lot of confusion, would it not? So Krishna maintains the creative potency. This is Baladev Vidyabhushan's commentary in the Vedanta Sutra. So anyway, the living entity, it comes into this material nature. This is prakriti, when we see prakriti. And Prabhupada, if you noticed in the first 3 sentences, clarified it. The different manifestations of body and senses among the living entities are due to material nature. So we've come into the material nature, who knows when, and that is prakriti, because that is para-prakriti, and this is jada-prakriti. And there's one verse in the Gita that says, apariyamita sramya prakṛtiṃ vidi me param, that the jiva actually belongs to the para-prakriti. He doesn't belong to the unconscious energy. We are conscious beings. We belong in the consciousness of the Supreme Lord. We don't belong in the unconscious nature. So we are para-prakriti. So when we come into the material nature, we have a choice. Material, the different manifestations of body and senses. That means in the body there are different senses, like we explained. The real sense is the root, is the living entity. But he's looking through the skin, he's looking through the eyes, he's looking through the nose, he's looking through the tongue, or tasting, but so to speak, looking. And that is conditioning him. Just like if I look through a microscope, I'm conditioned by looking through that microscope. My vision is altered. If I look through a telescope, my vision is altered by looking through the telescope. So the body conditions the senses of the living entity. Is this clear? And there are 8,400,000 species of life. So it says here, due to material nature. So this material nature, within it, Lord Brahma is the creator. He is empowered to create all these material bodies. Just imagine that. We get married, we create 3 or 4 children. But Lord Brahma creates 8,400,000 categories. Category, different species. We don't mean species in the modern terms, but different categories of life. So he creates all those, empowered by Krishna himself. He's a guna avatar. Just imagine his intelligence to create the non-moving entities, the living entities, the monkeys, the trees, the hogs, the birds, the germs, the humans, the devas. He creates all this, and it's a huge interlinked web of living entities. And they each have a particular body. And the living entity enters that body, and as Prabhupada says, he becomes conditioned. He has to act like a dog if he's in a dog's body. He has to act like a pig if he's in a pig's body. If he goes to Deva, he has the abilities of a Deva or a particular Deva, so on and so forth. And it's explained here, 400,000 of this 8,400,000, 400,000 of them are humanoid forms, modern word. You know, like the devas, they have a humanoid form. They look, they have head under this. And then the different bhutas, deva, it's described in the Bhagavatam, the different yakshas, rakshas, pretas, different living entities. But if you look at the living entities, like say you look at a fish, you might think they're different. No, they also have a head, they have 2 fins, that's their arms, and their legs are contracted into the rear fin. And if you look at the monkey, they have 2 arms and legs. If you look at the tiger, 2 arms, 2 legs. If you look at all the more developed living entities, you'll find that format. A head, some form of 2 arms. And so Lord Brahma, and it's explained in the good book, that the man is made in the image of God. So actually Lord Brahma, he has created all these different forms using a basic structure. A head, 2 arms, 2 fins, 2 claws, 2 legs, so on and forth. it's the same basic structure, whether you're even in a Buddha, right? They have a head, they have arms, so they have different forms. And there are different forms, living entities. In the Bhagavatam it says, Kinnara. Sometimes you see the Kinnara. That means, what is that? Is that a man? Because they have the upper torso of a human, similar, and then they have like a horse's body. And then they have Kim Purusha. And they have the body of a man, but the head of an animal. These things are described in the Bhagavatam. So we might think, well, that's fantastic, that's amazing. Yes. But we can see, even on our earth plane, we have these amazing animals in the ocean. We can't, you could go on forever. They're different designs, but they all have the basic structure, which gives them different senses by which they interact. So the living entity in a fish is interacting with the ocean through his fish body. We are interacting on this plane through our human body. The devas, many of them have a very much more fine body, and they are interacting on that plane through their deva body, with the subtle body. So these 8,400,000 species of life. But it says in the Bhagavatam, Jivo Jivasya Jivanam, that one living entity is food for another. How does that work? Then the Bhagavatam explains that the non-moving entities, like plants, trees, grains, wheat, whatever, are food for the moving entities. So you see that the deer eat the grass, the cows eat the grass, the monkeys eat the flowers, so on and so forth. So the moving entities, they eat the non-moving entities. And then the living entities with hands, amongst the moving entities, they eat the living entities without hands. Like, what does that mean? That means the claws of a tiger are his hands. He can grasp something. But a deer in the forest cannot grasp anything. He has hooves, right? Usually they're split in two. So those that have no hands are food for those that have hands. This is described in the Bhagavatam. And so this goes on. And then the Bhagavatam says, and the general rule is that the weak are the food of the strong. So this is the species of life. Now, all these living entities, they are created by material nature, right? And their different reactions. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, right? That means Lord Brahma has created this vast universe with different conditions of life, the fish in the water, the devas in such a lok, and so on, and this and that. But then, whereas the living entity is the cause of various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. So we already saw that, but Krishna has given a condensed version, that the living entity, whatever body he's in, he interprets it as happiness or distress. And there's also another psychic movement, and that's called, later Krishna says this, Icha Dvesha. You are within this material body, and so Icha, oh, I'm a dog, I want a female dog, I have desire. Dvesha, oh, I don't like that dog. Attraction and repulsion, happiness and distress. Every living entity has a sense of Icha, I want this, and Dvesha, I don't want this. I want rasgulla. I don't want Kerala, uncooked. Right? Icha dvesha. We're always assessing the external world in terms of this. And then and then the other thing Krishna says, conviction. That means sankalp. That you are interpreting the world and then you make a decision, a conviction. Yes, I want rasgulla, not Kerala, uncooked. Right? That's what so I come to a decision. But then if I eat the Kerala, how do I feel? Dookie. I don't feel happy about that. I don't have to eat it all, do I? Mummy says, eat it, good for you. Good for your diabetes. I'm only 5. So anyway, if we eat the rasamalai, then we, Anand, Paramanand, one more. And then we eat 5 and then we say no more. And it's dvesha, no. So these are the psychic movements, and Prabhupada, the acharyas summarize them as thinking, meaning we're conscious, we're perceiving through, like I say, this material body. We're conscious in certain degrees according to the body. And then, thinking, willing, we're interpreting. Feeling, we're interpreting. Attraction, repulsion, good, bad, and then willing, thinking, feeling, willing. Willing means that sankalp. We make a decision. I want the rasgulla. You eat the Kerala. So we make a determination, and then we perform action. This is how the mind consciousness works. But in different living entities, they have different tastes. So the living entity in all these different bodies, they are the cause, as Krishna says, of these happiness and distress. They interpret the material world according to that. A cow may like Kerala, but everyone likes rasgulla, don't they? Maybe. Anyway, maybe those on a keto diet, they don't. But the point is, so that's what the meaning of this verse, at least half of it. Nature is said to be the cause of material causes and effect. It creates the body and the conditions of life suitable for the different bodies, whereas the living entity interpreting the condition of his body, the satisfaction of his desire, is the cause of various sufferings and enjoyment in the world. Right? Is it clear? So also Prabhupada gives nice detail there. But so somebody may ask at this point, very good, but how am I in this body and not that body? Huh? How am I in the pig body and not the dog body? I don't know if the pigs think like this. They probably might. Because people feed dogs, they don't feed pigs, do they? Do they? Anyway, but so we may consider, if there are 8,400,000 categories of life, how do we go from one to the other? What is making me go here and there? Well, we have been discussing the body, but we also have a second body, which is the subtle body. And that is composed of mind, intelligence, and false ego in the conditioned state. And this composes our subtle body. And this is the container of consciousness. And this conscious body goes into this gross body and perceives it. because the manas, the mind, is the container of the consciousness. And how can you understand that this body, this mind, is within the gross body? Think of the gross body, this external body, as a sponge, and the subtle body as water. Water goes into the sponge. You know what sponge means, right? Water goes into the sponge and pervades the body. It pervades the sponge. So the subtle body, which contains the chittam, that is the conditioned consciousness of the soul, and this chittam is regulated by the buddhi. We're feeling and thinking, this is the buddhi. We gave the example last week that if I say, think of a green apple, everyone in the mind sees a green apple. See a banana, you see a yellow banana. So your buddhi is creating that image within your consciousness. You understand? That's the function of the buddhi. So the manas is like a container of consciousness, and the buddhi is altering the consciousness. If I say to you now, think of Lalita Shaki. You think, Lalita Shaki, the elder sister, so to speak, of Radharani, and you have that thought. So that is the buddhi. But in the conditioned state, the buddhi is infested or affected by the ahankara. And the ahankara, as we explained last week, has two phases. First phase is, I'm this body. I'm forgetful of my spiritual identity. And the things related to this body are mine. That's the ahankara. So the intelligence absorbs this basic idea. And the person is thinking, I'm this body, I'm from New York, I'm from California, I'm from Australia, I'm a dog, I'm a cat. The intelligence is affected by this, and he's acting accordingly on the subtle plane. And we explained last week, avarinatmika and prasatmika buddhi. That is also coming from material nature. It is subtle potency. When the living entity considers, I'm a dog, I'm a hog, I'm a deva, I'm a human, I'm a man, I'm a woman, then that is called prasatmika buddhi. Prasatmika means throwing intelligence. It's throwing. The living entity is in the material nature and he's thrown into illusion. Do you understand? Just like you fall into a swimming pool, you become covered by water. So you're thrown into the material nature, and then your ahankara affects your buddhi, and you think, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm from this place, I'm a hog, I'm a dog, I'm a bird, I'm a deva. You're thrown. And then avarinatmika buddhi comes, and that is called the covering potency. Avarana. That means that you start to think that yes, and you become quite sure, and you become convicted, yes, I am a dog, hog, deva, man, woman, child, thief, rascal, tom-tom driver, whatever. That's what I am. We identify with the external circumstances. And therefore, I deserve the things related to this body. And that's the material condition. So, Siddhanta clears ahankara. Because what did Krishna say? The first point he told Arjuna, you're an illusion because you think you're the body, but you're not the body. These aren't your kinsmen at all. Duryodhana isn't your cousin, that's the illusion. You are a spirit soul, and you have a duty to me because you're related to me as the Supreme Lord. Mama angsa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. So you're not the body. That's the first point of ahankara, gone. My identity is not this body. I am the body. No. I am Angsa of Krishna. And what should I do? Mama, I belong to Krishna. I should serve and reciprocate with Krishna. Instead of serving my senses in forgetfulness and of the Supreme and trying to enjoy. So I remember my spiritual identity, Krishna tells Arjuna, and now serve my plan. I don't want Duryodhana to be the king. I want Yudhisthira. And you should be an instrument in this. So that is the axiom. So though we are Tatastha Shakti, and we've chosen this from material to spiritual, we've come Tatastha, we've chosen the material. In another sense, that choice continues even in our material conditioning. Because if we gain from the spiritual master, the spiritual teacher, the Shastra, if we gain spiritual knowledge and practice it, sadhana bhakti, then we realize I'm not the body and I should be serving the Supreme Lord instead of serving my senses. But we are still having choice. This is the point. So sadhu sangha sava shastra hoy, lavamata sadhu sangha sava siddhi hoy. Now how, the earlier point, how do we go from one body to the next? Krishna explained that earlier. And that is, right, the subtle body we always maintain. If I die, which is pretty likely, I maintain my subtle body, right? The material body, the gross body is dropped off, and I maintain my subtle body. So the subtle body is our constant encapsulation, if you like, in the material world. We're always within the subtle body. But the material body is thrown off, buried, burnt, or whatever, and we may get another material body. But how is that decided? How is it decided? We should understand this very carefully. And the example given is that the consciousness is like wind. This is another way to understand. Wind, when it goes over flowers, it picks up the scent of wind. And then it passes over a rubbish dump. And it picks up the smell of the rubbish dump. Then it goes across the river and it picks up the scent of the river. And then it goes into the city and it picks up the scents of the river. The city. But the air is, so to speak, always pure, but according to its movement, it's picking up different scents. This point is clear? So similarly, we have choice. We're in this body, and like I say, we're in the subtle body is within the gross body, and we have the choice of conviction. We can choose. So according to how we choose, our subtle body picks up different fragrances, different flavors, different psychic moods. Is this clear? Just like now, you're all sadhus. So we're all coming together and we're picking up Krishna consciousness. And this is flowing into our consciousness. And we're becoming elevated. Now, but some people at the same time are going to a disco. Some people are going to a drinking house. And their consciousness is flowing into that environment and picking up the different flavors. So the subtle body picks up different flavors according to Sangha. And they become a reservoir within the consciousness, and then material nature, say I become a drunkard. then in the next life I will be given a form by which I can be a drunkard. Say I become a meat eater. Then in the next life, material nature may decide, I'm going to give you a tiger's body because you like meat. Why bother cooking it? You can have it fresh in the jungle. But now if I perform lots of pious activities, then my consciousness may become purified to a point where I become a deva. And I enjoy in Devaloka. But if I become a thief and a rascal, a liar, a rumour-monger, a fault-finder, a nasty person, where do I go? My consciousness picks up that flavour, and that defines my destination. Therefore, Krishna sums it up, Mama angsa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana prakriti sthani kashati. The he's got this mind and body, he's really part of Krishna, but he's struggling with material nature. This struggling is going in the human body and it's going on in the lion's body. One lion is in charge of a pride of females in the African savannah, and 2 other lions are planning his destruction. So they're also full of conviction. Hyenas, there's a big group of hyenas, and hyenas, the woman is the female hyena is always in charge. But then some of the younger hyenas, they make a group, they plan, and they say, come on, she's getting old, we're going to take over. So in this way, the material world, everyone, and that's why there's so much conflict, because everyone is trying to be the controller and enjoyer. And according to that particular activity performed by the living entity, on the basis of his iccha, dvesha, sukha-duḥkhānāṁ, his conviction, he gets a result according to what he deserves and what he desires. Whatever he deserves and what he desires. Oh, he deserves a lot, so let him have a deva life. He wants this, but let him have a poor condition for this. So in this way, this is all governed, as it says here, Muṇḍaka Upaniṣad, according to the Supersoul supervision and the devatas. So that's the meaning of today's verse. And it's explained at the end of the verse. It's very important to understand this knowledge, because then you can become liberated. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, we'll finish at that point. We still have 5 minutes. So, I want to make everyone very happy today. Today is a special day for a Lalita Shakti, correct? Everyone knows, right? So, in this Vaishnav calendar, there is the Sri Sri Lalita Astakam. And I'll read you the 9th verse. Astakam means 8 verses. Anyone who recites these prayers, praising Lalita's wonderful qualities with a pure vision, will be lovingly counted among her own friends or maidservants by Sri Radhika, the brilliant desire vine of the family of the Lord of Kirtida, King Vrishabhanu. Anyone who recites this Astakam. So what we're going to do is, I'll read one phrase and then you repeat it. But you must do it with a pure vision. What does that mean? You must visualize Lalita Shakti serving Sri Radha with love and bhava. And then repeat. And then you'll be counted amongst Radhika's beloved associates and parishads. I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. She worships the perspiration of Sri Sri Radha Mukunda's lotus feet, and acts boldly out of intense feelings of friendship for them, Radha and Krishna. Number 2, I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. Her face defeats the beauty of the ambrosial corona of the full moon. Her eyes are like those of an alarmed deer, and she is expert in the art of decorating Sri Radhika. I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. She wears a wonderful silk dress, colored like a peacock, with outstretched feathers, as well as a nice blouse. And her complexion defeats the golden splendor of Gorokana. Number 4, I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. She teaches Sri Radhika the art of a left-wing heroine, saying, Radhe, firmly reject this shrewd son of the king of Raja. Oh, immoral girl, listen, don't be weak. I am saying it for your own good. Don't submit to him. That's Lalita Devi. So, number 5, I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. Her eyes become red with anger if she sees the son of the king of Raja cheating Sri Radhika even slightly. Then she will promptly embarrass him with clever words. Number 6, I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. She is the abode of affection for the queen of the cowherders, Yashoda. She is the teacher of the art of friendship for all the Shakis, and her love for Sri Radhika and Krishna is equal. Number 7, I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. She requests every girl in Vraja to join the party of Vrishabhanu's daughter, and who fulfills all desires of that girl, Sri Radhika. Number 7, I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. All her desires were at once fulfilled when she saw the path of Radha in Vraja being blocked by a certain person. Number 8, I offer, that certain person is who? Oh, Radhika, stay away from him. He's blocking the path. 8, I offer my obeisances to Lalita Devi, who has many wonderful qualities. She always enjoys the festival of Radha and Vrajendra Suta's meeting. And she is the chief of all Radha's dear girlfriends in Gokula. So again, fruit of reciting. Anyone who recites these prayers, praising Lalita's wonderful qualities with a pure vision, will be lovingly counted amongst her own friends and maidservants by Sri Radhika, the brilliant desire vine of the family of the Lord of Ketida. That's Radha's mother, King Vrishabhanu. Okay, you recited with pure vision, so your future is very good. You're picking up beautiful scent. This is how we go back to Godhead. We use our consciousness to pick up the scent of the spiritual world. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ke jai, Sadhu Sangha ke, Sri Bhagavad Gita ke, Lalita Devi Shakhi Maharani ke jai.